Zoe. I'm the Tipsy Psychic. I'm filming this video right after I filmed the other one. I apologize if it looks like the same, but I'm just taking advantage of this moment when I have time and I'm cozy. I'm on my bed, so you know. Alright. Okay. Today we're going to talk about the compatibility between a Leo, Virgo Cusp and a Cancer. I'm excited. Are you excited? Yes, I am excited. Alright. This is really weird lighting. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm taking advantage of it because I think it's cool. So cool. You share a very intellectual bond with your Cancer. You both enjoy intellectual conversations and puzzles. You like challenging each other's ideas and thoughts. However, you do need to sort of establish some sort of foundation for your relationship. You need to anchor it somehow, okay? You both have a very chill attitude about your relationship. Like you don't feel like you're on a leash, or that you don't feel like trapped, you know? You feel like you give each other enough trust and freedom to just like be there for each other, and you expect each other to be there for each other physically, you know, when you need to be there for each other physically. And that doesn't have to be like all the time. You have your own lives, you know, but you're both definitely there when you want to have fun together, and that's what matters, right? However, when you're trying to be chill, you can overdo it sometimes, let's face it. So maybe try to be like a little bit more subtle when you're trying to chillax. Try to be effortless in the way you look laid back. I know a lot of this doesn't seem to make sense right now, but it might make sense to a lot of you, surprisingly. At times, you may find yourself in like a contest with your Cancer. You might find that there's a third party involved, and you might feel like you are competing with someone else for your Cancer's heart, or you and your Cancer are competing for someone else. Like your Cancer isn't fully yours, but obviously that depends on the third party. It may feel like there's some obstacles when it comes to peace and quiet, and that may become a priority for you to figure out. But trust me when I say that privacy is not the biggest problem here. You might be making it a way bigger deal than it really is. Alright. Cancer will always try to go out of their way to figure you out. When a Cancer is with you, they'll be put into a position where they'll really have to use their brain for once. They can't just rely on their feelings and their hearts in this relationship. Nope. Your Cancer won't be used to having to be so smart in a relationship. They're used to having their minds and feelings just like, they're like heart takeover, you know? But you bring out this different side of them. When you're going through difficult times, your relationship will be the rock that really keeps you together. There's a very laid back vibe to your relationship. But that doesn't mean that when you're on your own, you don't have like distinct taste, and that you can't get kind of picky or just like have preferences, you know? You like things a certain way, you like things of quality, and that trickles into your relationship despite it being super laid back. There's just like this sort of vibe, yeah. It doesn't mean that your high expectations and your quality tastes like don't affect your relationship. Pick your battles and don't fight with your Cancer unless you really have to. You need to work on doing more activities together and finding more things that you have in common. It's good to be relaxed, but try to get intentional and actually like organize things from time to time. Like it's fine to hang out and meet up and go places together, but it's also really appreciated for you to like actually plan a nice date. Like actually take the time to make a reservation or to do something cool for your Cancer instead of just like going with the flow or doing what you usually do. So just remember that like there's joy in both the spontaneous state and also the like planned romantic gesture. The way your Cancer always tries to get you can be invigorating, but it can also be very annoying. One of the challenges here is that you both make up your mind so quickly, and it can be like an issue, so you might not seem genuine when you do that. That's why it's so important to take the time to be thoughtful about the things you say and do, because it can get kind of comfortable and you might like just react and not actually like take the time to just like think, like you're on autopilot, you know? The way you connect with each other is very rare. It's not the same way you would connect with anyone else. Nope. You both are very passionate and it can be somewhat overwhelming. Ugh. But the fact that you're able to stay so chill and at the same time not give up your standards is really, really awesome. You have to try to think things through, okay? And be more careful when you're making a choice. Like, don't rush the process, you know? Work on finding values and ideals in common to build a better connection with your Cancer. Sometimes you have to stop digging for answers. Sometimes you just kind of gotta let answers reveal themselves when they're supposed to reveal themselves, you know? So you might just have to learn to trust and have faith and be patient. Be open and honest, and things will reveal themselves when they reveal themselves. You're not all talk. You like to do. You like to take action. And a Cancer can be moody. They can get in their head. At first, you might find them endearing, but after a while, it might aggravate you. You both can be a little judgy, and it might cause you to argue, but your opinions can really help you grow as a couple. So a healthy debate is actually encouraged. Like, don't feel like you have to stop. One of the reasons that a Cancer might really be drawn to you is that you're really like complicated person. They like people who aren't average, okay? They're drawn to rare gems like you. So cute. They just can't help themselves. They love all your angst. You will be very interesting to them. You both have a tendency to seclude yourselves when you're together. That need for time to yourselves will be amplified. And you'll let each other in on it, but it might make you distance yourselves even further from other people, especially if you live together. Like if you're having a house party and you both live together, this is the kind of couple that will only have like one room open for guests, but you're very private. Like you don't like to just like open up your entire house for people to hang out in. You'll have those rooms that you just like kind of put away, you know? So you're very private in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways you just don't give a shit about privacy, but there is a certain like isolation to this couple, I guess. I don't know. As friends, it's like you can read each other's minds sometimes. Make sure you continue to take time to yourself, okay? It can be so tempting to spend all your time together. But if you want to grow as a couple, you're going to need to learn to be on your own too. You have a very pure friendship. Like it magnifies your inner child. It's very playful and you both like to mess around. Sometimes you can be immature. And you're never afraid that the other person's going to judge you or make you feel stupid or silly for something. Like you guys have this very like accepting vibe. It's like a very goofy friendship. You might feel like you're going at different paces at times. As friends, you both cuss a lot. Or like you talk about things out loud that you normally wouldn't talk about in public. You might feel like you're going at a different pace at times. It might feel hard to find time for each other at the same time, perhaps. When you're ready to finally try something new with them, it's like they've just like become like comfortable where they're at. And you're like, no, I finally got to a place where I'm ready to like step outside of my comfort zone. But they're like, no, I'm good now. So it's kind of hard for you to find like that same like page, you know? Don't lose your bookmark. I love that analogy. You both are partners, and once you start acting like partners and acting like a team, you're invincible. No one can fuck with that. And if anyone tries to challenge you intellectually, oof, you've got each other's back. Cancers are drawn to your individuality, and you like that, and you like having that sway over them. In the past, love has not been kind to either one of you. You both suffered through your experiences of heartbreak, and it can make you feel like you have difficulty trusting again, like you have difficulty just giving your heart. But luckily, with your Cancer, you can find that again. You've been brokenhearted before and it wrecked you. So your trust issues can surface at first, for sure. As friends, you're good at talking to each other and just opening up. Even when you're just like taking time for yourself, make sure you're like working on your connection and strengthening that. Building on that chemistry, you know. A Cancer friend would be so much fun. Just because this relationship is intellectual does not mean that it's boring under the sheets. Oh boy. You guys have a very strong physical connection. Your minds might be connected, but your bodies, oh gosh. Sex is probably amazing between the two of you. If you want this relationship to work, you need to do the inner work. You need to explore the mental bond that you share and definitely establish like a very strong foundation for your relationship to grow on. You both are really careful when you go into this relationship. You've been hurt before, but you soon learn how to have faith again with each other. You're both very loyal to each other. Unfortunately, shame or guilt can be a really big problem for this relationship. It has such a private side that unfortunately there are just times when your inability to completely be just open creates guilt or shame. If you're having issues, having the ability to handle messy situations and being patient and attentive and demonstrating passion and compassion towards each other can really help you deal with those difficult times. Not only do you both enjoy sex together, but you both like talking about sex together. As friends or as partners, you try to find a way to have a stable lifestyle. You bond over shared beliefs, shared religion maybe. Often it's like shared values, and that's what you build this foundation off of. It can also happen if you're both on the same career path. When you start dating a Cancer, you'll feel like they respect you, and you can just be yourself, and they trust you, and you can trust in them. Try not to confuse your feelings with your thoughts. There will be many times with your Cancer will get under your skin, and they will feel the exact same way about you. It's essential for you to both express yourselves openly. Hashtag no filters, okay? Even if it's you being like compassionate and caring towards them or super angry and upset, you gotta like take off all the filters, just be super open and honest. It may not be what you want to hear, what you want to say, but sometimes you just gotta speak the truth. And if you can't do that, then that's a really big issue. Obviously, your relationship will be tested. It will face challenges and traumas. And it's going to be very easy to feel unstable and to feel uncertain and to feel afraid. And for everything to seem like it's going to fall apart. But you have to remember that you can't rush things. You have to use your brain and not get too carried away. You both have a very powerful sexual chemistry, but don't let your thoughts and your smarts, your intelligence get in the way of your physical chemistry, okay? Because they're very separate in this case. Too many mental games can actually be a big turnoff here. So be careful. You must keep them very separate. To build a very strong foundation in the relationship so that things can work means spending a lot of time together right away. And that's going to be one of the challenges here. Because you're both laid back and you have the sense of freedom and you both really value space, but in order to grow, you're gonna need to be together to do that. So it's like a weird, like, turn of events, like, I guess, of how your relationship unravels. It has to do it in a certain way. And in the beginning, you spend a lot more time together than apart. And if it's not going that way, then that's probably not a good sign. You have a way of looking at your Cancer and like seeing sides of them that no one ever really sees before. Just sides that they've like been waiting for someone to notice. And they love it. Love it. Yes. Friendships can be very casual, laid back, you know? You have a lot to offer each other, especially when it comes to your work life and your social life. You can use your social life and friends as a way to ground your relationship when you feel like things are kind of getting messy. Basically, if things are going well though, don't fuck with them, okay? Because that can be the mentality here, and that's not necessarily like a bad thing, you know? Some cool date ideas would be taking a class together, getting advice from a guru that you both admire, researching something that you both are interested in, or watching a cop show, or going to a murder mystery party, or doing one of those like escape rooms. You gotta put your thinking caps together. If things are not working, a lot of the time it's because you're getting caught up in your head and in your thoughts a little too much. The problem with getting so caught up in your mind is that it can get in the way of being romantic. And when you're speaking from your mind, often you're not speaking from your heart. If you do decide to get married, then you need to take things slow. It might be tempting to just like get swept away and be impulsive, but you need to take your time, especially when it comes to marriage, which is like a huge commitment. Don't run away and elope. I'm not saying you're wrong for each other, but I'm saying like make sure you're like really thinking things through and planning. It can be so easy to just like get carried away here. Don't get married in Vegas, okay? There is a unique trust that you have for each other. It means that you hardly ever pressure them or push them. If you're so caught up in your own head, it's gonna be very difficult for you to just be natural and let your feelings happen on their own. Marriage can work out really well for the both of you, as long as you stay in your own lane. Like you both kind of know your place in the marriage and what is expected, and as long as you don't just like take on too much for each other at one time, like you should be good. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Just be completely open with them and communicate well. What you have is very special. Do not take it for granted. Your love with them becomes a priority in your life. So, yes. If you were born on the cusp of Leo and Virgo, or if you are a Cancer, please comment below and let me know what your story is. I'd love to hear more about everything that you've experienced or your thoughts in the comment section below. And please subscribe to my channel. And yas. Okay, bye-bye. Fire.